What is up, everybody? Welcome to Apex Bonsai. I'm Dylan, and today we're going to be doing some developmental pruning and wiring on one of our Green Mound Junipers. This is a tree that we got as nursery stock at the beginning of the year and have been developing over this growing season, and it's starting to really take off. And as it's doing that, it's trying to do its own thing, and we need to kind of get it under control right now and do some wiring to get it to kind of take the shape that we want. We do have a vision in mind for this particular tree at this point, and I'm showing you that on the screen. This is what we ultimately want this tree to look like, so we're developing it that way. The reason we want to go that way is that we have 4 of these Green Mound Junipers, 2 of which are already cascading or semi-cascades. The other one is the OG Juniper. We don't really know what that one is yet because it's so small and young. This one we want to do a different route with. We don't want 3 cascading junipers. So I'm trying to get it more upright, which is, it takes some training with these Green Mound Junipers. If you let them grow, they'll just grow and sprawl out. That's why they're used as ground cover so much. So you have to kind of manipulate them if you want to get them more upright. And that's what I've been doing with this stake, which has been doing an okay job up to this point, but it's starting to grow around the stake now and just get bigger. And I don't really have enough soil here to keep it staked in tight. So I'm gonna start wiring it. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna clean up some of this crotch growth, get rid of some of this bushiness so we can actually see what's going on here. And then we will wire it, and then we'll probably do some pruning to get it a little bit more styled. I'm not gonna give it a full styling here. I'm not gonna wire everything out. I just wanna give it its basic shape and make sure it's heading in the right direction because we're still developing this tree as of right now. Now, before we get into cleaning up this juniper, I do want to thank everybody who's been supporting the channel so far. We've been growing really fast. It's been a ton of fun for us as a family to work on this channel and to learn bonsai as a whole. And it's just been great. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it. If you're new here, make sure you say hello down in the comments. Like and subscribe is greatly appreciated. And now let's get into cleaning up this Green Mound Juniper. Okay, so as I'm cleaning up here, number one thing that I'm gonna be doing is getting rid of this crotch growth. So crotch growth is anything that's growing right at where the branches meet the main trunk line. So you can see the little what my scissors are pointing to there, that's crotch growth in there. I will clean out a little bit. I usually clean out maybe, I don't know, a 1/4 inch or so out from the crotch up the branch to give it a little bit of definition so I can actually see what's going on. It gets rid of some of that bushiness. If I see anything that's growing straight up or straight down, I'll probably clear that out as well. But number one priority, get rid of that crotch growth. It helps free up some of that space in there to allow more sunlight, more air through. So this is something that even if you're in full development, you have no idea what direction you're going, with your Green Mound Junipers, you can get in there and clear out that crotch growth at any time, and it can help your tree. All right, so we just did a really quick cleanup. We only focused on the crotch growth. We didn't get rid of very much at all. But it did clean it up and allows me to see what's going on a little better here. I want to wire this main trunk now and get the shape that I'm envisioning before I clear out too much. I don't want to get rid of anything that I might end up using later down the line. So I want to get my main trunk line where I want it, and then we'll see what we're going to use and what we're not going to use as part of that design, and probably trim a good bit more. So let's wire this main trunk now and get that shape, and we'll see where we're at. Yes, I like that. That turned out pretty well. If it holds, I'll be very happy with that. It's definitely the upright kind of curve that I want. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about the main trunk. So looking at this now, I would call what is facing you right now the front. And I'm wondering what all I'm gonna be able to keep down here, because here's the big thing. Obviously, I wanted to keep this branch. And I think I still can try it, but my concern is that it's so thick that if it's not my first branch, then there's gonna be reverse taper because these are way thinner. Now, the question I would have, if you know the answer, let me know in the comments, is will these branches catch up? If I, kind of regulate growth on this and keep it trimmed back a little bit and let these go, will they eventually catch up? Maybe that's one thing I could consider to allow me to keep this. No matter what, I'm gonna keep this branch for now, and if nothing else, it'll just be a sacrificial branch. Because I'm still in pretty early development for this. But I do think I will clear out some of these branches down here and get rid of this bushiness and start to give it a little bit of a shape. So let's trim a little bit more. So here's a really big decision for me that I'm wrestling with. And let me know what you guys think as I kind of talk my way through this. So I've got these two branches right down here that are pretty close together, right here and right here, okay? This front branch right here, to me looks a little bit more healthy and like it's growing a little bit more aggressively, and that makes me want to keep it. However, it's growing kind of out like that. So my question would be, is it better for me to keep this branch and wire it maybe back a little bit, like that? Or to get rid of that branch and just keep the one that's right behind it that you can see right there? That is the question. And I think here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get rid of the front branch. So we got rid of the front branch. Now you can see all these branches kind of come out to the side. Eventually we'll let these branches grow out and decide we're not gonna keep all these branches. It's possible that this could end up being the first branch on this. It's definitely possible. All right, so I do think the rest of these branches that are on here right now, I'm gonna keep and let them help thicken up this tree and grow a little bit and see what they turn into. But with that said, I do want to get rid of some of this undergrowth. So undergrowth is on this branch right here. You can see everything that's growing out at the bottom right here. I'm gonna get rid of that. So just like this. And that stuff doesn't get as much sunlight as obviously the stuff that's on top, so it gets blocked out. It's just drawing resources from the tree, and it's the stuff that'll turn brown first. So, the thought process there is it also looks a little bit better when you get rid of that. It helps the tree look a little bit more structured, but also it helps free up some resources that's not going to growth that maybe might not be as likely to survive. Okay, so as I'm clearing out this undergrowth, right here, I'm running into this branch where the undergrowth is significant, the stuff that's growing out of the bottom here. But I could also see that being used at some point, especially with this branch. So what I'm thinking about doing right now is maybe wiring these two branches up, getting this twisted a little bit and around the front. So getting it back over like this, and also twisting this a little bit so that that undergrowth could be a little bit more useful. So I'm gonna try that right now. All right, so I ran into a couple of things I've never run into there before. First of all, we're crossing wire right here, and I tried to do it without the wire touching the best I could. I don't know the proper technique there. Also, The wire was the appropriate size for this branch, but way too big for this branch. So I guess I don't know what you do normally in that situation either, but we're trying to make it work. All right, so this has turned out well. More of my foliage is pointed the right direction. Got a little bit of a curve in that thicker branch now, so that's good. Again, we don't know if we're gonna be able to keep that or not. This though is just, this one's kind of just a mess. The good news is that I feel like more of my growth is pointing in the right direction on that one, so I guess mission accomplished. Okay, so I think that's about as far as I want to take this tree right now. Obviously, there's still a lot of branches left on this tree that are not going to be used in the final design, but they will help me thicken up that trunk right now, and that's my bigger priority at this point in this tree's life. I came here today and I wanted to clean up some of that crotch growth and that undergrowth. I wanted to wire it and get it into a stronger structure for where I want this tree to go. And I feel like I did that. We got the main trunk wired in the direction I wanted, a lot better than what this stake was doing. We got what could end up being our first branch here with a little bit of shape to help it develop and look interesting if we do end up keeping it. And we got the tree cleaned up. So overall, I would say mission accomplished. You know, we didn't come here today setting out to make some prize looking tree, and it certainly didn't turn out that way. But I think we have this tree in a firmer position moving forward to develop and have an interesting shape that we're going for. So with that said, let me know if you enjoyed this video, and if you have any answers to the questions that I had regarding the wiring technique. I'd love to hear that stuff from you. I know there's a lot of experts out there, and I'd love to learn from you there regarding, you know, crossing wires, and when you're using wires on two different size branches, how you do that. All stuff I'll be looking for in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like and subscribe, and I'll have more coming your way here soon.